I took a long hiatus, but welcome back to the F you talking about. Well, this channel is just starting out, and I had so many stuff that I wanted to talk about that I kind of did nothing. Last week I was hyped because I was trying to pump out 3 videos. Nothing of that materialized, but here we are. We're just gonna get back rolling. Today, I want to talk about something different. In my first 2 videos, I talked about wrestling. And now I want to talk about that you can actually kind of put on wrestling as well. Cause the way it was the last couple of years, it's kind of the same for wrestling as well. I want to talk about superhero movies. Last week, me and a friend of mine, we went to the movies. And I'm kind of sad I didn't go a month before. And we saw Superman. It was very empty. There was just 2 chicks just right above us who watched the movie as well. And I remember sitting there and I was like, yeah, this movie, I didn't want to watch it. Because I heard a lot of good stuff about it, which gassed me up to do it. But at the same time, I was like, first of all, I always preferred Henry Cavill as Superman. I'm not trying to be a fanboy, but this is just something that I kind of preferred, and it was kind of odd seeing somebody else play the role that Henry Cavill didn't make famous, because Superman was always very famous, but Henry Cavill gave the character another edge. And I'm not saying this like literally, because Superman was very edgy when Henry Cavill played him. And Man of Steel was actually a pretty decent movie, but it was very dark and it was very broody, and it was kind of like, yeah, this would actually be a perfect Batman movie. Like when you see it, and it's all dark and broody, and it's like, yeah, this is a perfect setting for a Batman movie. But yeah, this is just how Zack Snyder envisioned his characters. It was more action packed, and everything else was kind of dark. Like sunlight was something. Like, did they even have summer? But I digress. And the second reason why I didn't want to watch Superman is kind of because I was in a superhero movie fatigue for the last 6 years, I think. I did not enjoy more than 3 movies. And it was like this. After Endgame, I think I liked No Way Home, but I just liked it because of Tobey Maguire, and I think looking back at it in hindsight, that was a pretty lame movie. There was a lot of some very unsatisfying plot lines, and also the suit on Tobey Maguire looked very wacky. Like, this is not something that you just kind of change, because the mask looked very different. This is not something that you change, bro. You want to do a lot of nostalgia, but yeah, they changed the suit. Andrew Garfield's suit stayed the same. And I know the fans are saying, yeah, this is an older Spider-Man, maybe he tweaked his suit. No, this is not what you do. You have to be very true to the source, and you just gotta be like, yeah, we don't give a damn about the fact that it could have been like 14 to 15 years. Like, he looked aged because he didn't want to de-age himself in the movie. Like, I get it, in 15 years you probably make some design choices, but man, this guy looked like a toy, and that was awful. The CGI didn't age very well. It never did. Like, it was never good in the first place. And yeah, but at the time that it came out, I pretty much enjoyed the hell out of it. Then there was, I think, what was it again? The Wakanda Forever movie. I remember that pretty fondly because I watched the movie when I had a date. And we were at the movies. It was a pretty good day, and it was more. I remember it more because of the date, to be honest. But it was also a pretty fun movie, very beautifully shot, and but it's just kind of an interesting story. Even though I think that a Black Panther movie without Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, by the way, does not work. That guy's been dead for a couple of years now. I think it has already been like 4 to 5 years. So I had to kind of pause the audio just for a second. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Guy's been dead for a minute. Remember him very fondly because he played the hell out of Black Panther. He was one of the highlights of Infinity Wars, and the first Black Panther movie, groundbreaking. it was cool. I don't want to be a movie nerd. I haven't been a comic book or movie nerd for a couple years, and I think at my age, at 26, it's pretty much, you can still feel passionate about it because that was my childhood, and I am really, as a person, I tend to be very stoic. I tend to be very disciplined. I tend to be very, caring about different things. But at the same time, I really try to feed into this feeling that I get whenever I think about my childhood, which is just pure joy. And that's why I do what I do. I want to share my joy and my criticism as well. But yeah, Black Panther, great, fucking great movie. Yeah, I think that was it. Like, I think 2023 had Spider-Verse. Man, Spider-Verse was great. Spider-Verse was so fucking great. I was so hyped about Spider-Verse 3, and it should have come out in March of 2024. And I'm so glad it didn't, because I think that it could have sucked. There might have been some production issues, and there was a lot of production issues with Sony, as some people heard, but I was like digging these damn Jordans. I still dig them. I don't have them yet, but I want to have them. I love Jordans. I love Spider-Man. I love the Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. I think Into the Spider-Verse is more of the kind of the movie that you can watch like once in a while, and Across the Spider-Verse is just kind of like a lot of action, like a lot of things going on. You know, that is like a movie theater kind of experience. And for every kid out there, for every adult who likes comic book movies, that watch the movie. It's a fucking great movie. But at the same time, it's not the live action superhero movies. But I digress again, and I want to come back to my first sentiment, which is I liked Superman. And for a long time I didn't come to this, I didn't really have this liking for superhero movies anymore. And now I am hyped again, because I think that there's something that has been lost in this kind of rubble, in this bubble, which was like superhero movies being great, and everything kind of fell off after Endgame, because a lot of movies were just kind of cash grabs. The Spider-Man movies felt fucking disjointed. Then the Captain Marvel movies, god damn it, the Captain Marvel movies, they're fucking gross, to be honest. I don't like Brie Larson. I think she looked the part, but the movies are fucking awful. They are awful. I didn't care about the series. I think that Captain Falcon is not good. I didn't watch the Captain America movie, and I won't watch it for a while now. But I'm hyped about what they're going to do with Doomsday. I am hyped about it. I'm not going to say too much. At the same time, I'm like, I'm trying to keep my feet low. I'm trying to keep them low, because I'm like, just wait a minute. Just wait and see. I didn't watch the Fantastic Four movie. I couldn't be less interested, to be honest, because it's like, I don't know, but it could be the same thing, just like as it was with the Superman movie. But I'm gonna explain why I loved Superman so much and why I didn't like the other movies. First of all, I'm gonna say why I didn't like the movies. First of all the political things. Yeah, I'm gonna do a speed run. The political stuff in the Marvel DC movies. Bad acting, bad fucking acting. These people can't act. Swear to God, these people need to take acting classes. Too much mischaracterizations, too much shading. Like, I remember this Riri Williams kind of character in fucking, what was it, Black Panther 2. And I don't know, was she throwing shade at Iron Man? I mean, Iron Man is fucking great, man. Dude's fucking great movie, great cast. I'm kind of bummed about the fact that Robert Downey is playing Dr. Doom again, because I was like, yeah, it would have actually been the perfect time to just let him rest. Why bring him back? And why bring him back as Doom? You're the multiverse. Get the multiverse up my ass, bro. No, up your up your ass. No, well, I'm gonna leave it in the video. It's funny. Yeah, it's just a cash grab. And that was the negative stuff. Now I'm going to do the positive stuff about Superman. First of all, the movie begins with a little bit of exposition, explaining stuff. Yeah, cool. We don't need to go through all of this Kal-El shit anymore. And yeah, you are supposed to save the world or destroy the world in this movie's case, because was it a retcon? I don't know, but if I remember right, in The Man of Steel, his parents sent him to save the world, to be to be a role model. And in this movie, it's just kind of, yeah, son, forget about being Superman. Just wear the fucking black suit and kill everybody. Which is, it's different. It is different, but it has a clear message because Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman, is actively deciding to do good, even though he knows and he learns about his parents that there was actually assholes, you know? And he decides to do good. He embraces his human nature. Yeah? If they say why? Tell him that is human nature. Love Michael Jackson, by the way. Rest in peace. 16 years. Time flies. It's kind of, he chooses to be human, even though some lines about his humanity sound corny. And I was like cringing myself away while I was watching the movie. And I was like, wait a minute, this is the corny stuff. It feels like a comic book. The movie was beautifully shot. The colors are beautiful. And at the same time, it's like, it's corny. It's very corny sometimes. And I was like, yes, this is the typical Clark Kent, good boy, Boy Scout, muscle-bound Boy Scout, like 6'3", blue eyes guy that I know. And I was like, yes, this is good. This is very good. Like this corniness, I haven't had it since like years. I was like, I cringed away, but at the same time, I know that 20 years ago when I was 6 years old, I would have said like, yes, this is it, bro. This is it. And I love that about this version of Superman. He's fucking corny. He's a cornball. He's trying to do so much good, and he's trying to explain himself to everybody. And it's like, yes, everybody with a fucking spine wouldn't do that, but this is Superman. He is supposed to do that. He is supposed to be this poster boy for good and for opposing evil, and being this guy that is helping every grandma cross the street and every cat off a tree. Yeah, this is Superman. Then we got the action. The action is balanced. We got a lot of flying. We got a lot of shaky cameras. But I think the shaky cameras is good because it's implemented well. Yeah, on some scenes it was like a little too much. But isn't this exactly what you expect of this? And you know, what I think about the movie is they could have had flaws with the CGI. And that's where the shaky camera comes in, because it hides the flaws. It does hide the flaws a little bit, but you don't know if there's any flaws because you don't really see the flaws because of the shaky camera. And I was like, yeah, this is great. This is really good. And then the characterization of all the characters, it's like Lois Lane kind of left me a little bit puzzled. It was like, yeah, she's kind of there. She's kind of trying to be something. I don't know much about her, so I just let it slide. But it's like Superman is just kind of trying to get her to open up a little bit, and he gets her there. And everybody's picking on him because of Lex Luthor, and he's trying to kill him. And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm a human, and that's my true strength, Lex." And then he's kind of like getting him arrested, and I'm like, I'm cringing again, but at the same time, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what Superman would do. He wouldn't kill his ass. He would just kind of shout at him, yeah, this is what I do. This is what I am supposed to do, and I'm good and everything, and I'm human, and fuck all. And it's like, yeah, this is what I expected. And this movie is also great with the destruction of the city, because it depicts it as casualties that shouldn't be, while the other movies were like kind of, yeah, I'm just gonna fight him and whatever happens happens. This movie was like, you could see that Superman, is actively trying to avoid casualties in many ways, in many ways. And then at the end, it's like kind of, yeah, he can't get through all of this, but he still tries. He still tries to save the buildings, the little people, and he's trying to make everything not like collapse. But of course, the damage has already been done, and he just kinda tries to do damage control. And that is one of the biggest strengths of this movie. Also, I think the last fight with his evil clone, that is kind of a repetitive thing in superhero movies. It's like, yeah, it's either your friend or it's you yourself, which I was like, yeah, I was kind of iffy about, but I mean, it's okay. It's like a new universe or a first movie. I think they're trying to build a new universe. And that's cool. That's cool. You can build off of that. I think this movie was just like kind of getting their toes in the water, and it's like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. And one of the best things about this movie is how it is shot. Like the colors, this blue, whitish color scheme that it has. Everything is bright. Everything is like colorful, and there's so many color palettes that you see in this movie. The red, the blue. It's all so good. Like it's really eye candy. And what I loved about the movie is they kept Superman's underwear thing going on, but it didn't really focus on that too much. It kept it to be true to the character, but it tried to keep it off focus, because it's kind of like it works in the comics, it works in the cartoon, but does it work in like a live action movie? Kinda don't. It kinda don't. But when you see it, it's not too much of a focus, and the movie tries to avoid it. And that is good, because presentation is everything, really. I always say that in wrestling, in movies, in TV shows, presentation is everything. Like, you can't put something that is working in the comics just in like live action. There has to be some sort of detail and everything that makes it special, that makes it work. Like when Christopher Reeve played Superman, he wasn't like this, kind of simple in his unitards and his whatever, but that was a different time, that was a different quality. Now everything has to be special, because it wouldn't work in today's game. Back then you could make it work, because everybody was happy that we get superhero movies. It's like everybody was happy about the Chinese Spider-Man or the Japanese Spider-Man. What was it? Because back then that was unheard of, having movies with this much action, with being true to the character. It was unheard of. Yeah, that was some next level wizardry for people. And now with all the technology and CGI and the screens that we have nowadays, now we can do so much shit. And let me say this, there was not a scene in the movie that took me out because of the CGI. CGI was great. Could have looked wonky in some scenes, but the budget was very, very was used very, very good. And yeah, I need to praise the movie, man. It looked great. It really looked great. And I gotta say, this is criticism about Marvel again. The last 10 years, to be honest, every Marvel movie, I think after Avengers 2, it was when Marvel movies kind of had this gray tone, and it was like kind of, yeah, some scenes were ugly. Some scenes were really ugly. Compared to the first Iron Man, which was like colorful, red, gold, the emphasis on the colors, on yellowish, goldish, reddish, and even the blue was like some dark blue, and it was very, very, the contrast was very good. It was like striking. And then like in Civil War or something, it was like very gray, which I found really ugly. Yes, movie was very, very good. The new Superman. And I just kind of need to praise James Gunn, because he was notorious for making good movies with the Guardians trilogy. I think even the third movie, he did the third movie as well. Didn't watch it, but people say it's good. I need to praise him, because the guy knows what he's doing with these superhero movies. Like, just what it is. And he made me enjoy a superhero film like long after I really enjoyed my last superhero film. Because I had a good time with Endgame, even though in hindsight I think it kind of, not on the level of Spider-Man No Way Home, but it kind of wore off on me. Like, I'm not too fond of it anymore, because I think Infinity War was great. Endgame should have been like 2 parts. 2 parts with like 2 hours to 2.5 hours of movie. Because I think it was very underwhelming in hindsight, because I think that 3 hours wasn't really enough to do what they tried to do. It's kind of like the Avengers on a rescuing mission and then the last fight. And they shouldn't have done that in 2 movies. I think the last fight should have been as action-packed and long as Infinity War. But yeah, That's my part. I really enjoyed Superman, and I hope to see more. I really hope to see more. That is an instant buy whenever it comes out on Blu-ray and DVD. I want to have the movie. I think it's beautifully shot. The new actor is good. He can play the role very good. I still prefer Cavill, but I think that's just kind of a nostalgia thing, because Henry Cavill has been Superman for like 10 to 12 years until he was fired after the Black Adam scene, post-credit scene, which Black Adam, by the way, sucked ass. Looked terrible, terrible script, terrible everything. Yeah, I was hyped to see Cavill again, but we got a great Superman movie. So, and I think Henry Cavill is also over it. I think he would have loved to play Superman for another 10 years, but the guy was in limbo with the role for like the last 8 to 9 years now. A lot of rewrites, a lot of overdues, and the DC universe as we know it is kind of dead. So I think he's okay with the new Superman. He's in peace. He's at peace with himself. He did what he could, and he made it work, man. I will never forget Henry Cavill as Superman. I will always support Henry Cavill. I love the suit. I love the suit. I really do. Especially the one in like Black Adam, which was a lot brighter. I think that was the best suit that we have ever had. We didn't see a lot of it, but it was very bright, I think. And yeah, it was awesome. Like, the guy played the hell out of Superman, but now we got a new one, and I think he's great. He got in shape. He looks the part. He acts the part. And I think the writers do him very good. Do him a favor with the role, because they wrote him very good. This is Superman.